I was...
A little backstory, maybe.
Yeah. Well, just seeing the film again, I just see that smile. And really, I don't think anyone's really talked much about her smile, but it's a very powerful thing. She just had this joyous way, and if she was smiling at you, you really felt it. But I was lucky enough. I was working for Elektra Records in 1968, and one of our artists, Tim Buckley, was going to the Newport Folk Festival. So part of my job was to be there as the company representative because, you know, we call it hand-holding. If one of our artists was in the Northeast area, we were in New York City, then we would go and make sure everything went smoothly for them. So I got to Newport for that reason, and it was the night before the opening of the festival. And traditionally, there was, at that time anyway, there was a party that was the gathering of all the performers and all the producers and everybody involved behind the scenes. And it was held at Joan Baez's parents' house, family house, because it was this beautiful house, a Victorian overlooking the harbor in Newport. It was just a great big gathering place. So a bunch of us, maybe 30, were sitting down on the floor in the living room, and Joan Baez was on the couch singing and hanging out, grooving on that, and I get a tap on my shoulder, and I look up, and I hear, "Howdy, I'm Janis." And it's Janis Joplin, and of course, she was headlining that year. So she just sat down next to me, and we started talking about nothing, and ended up together for the next 4 days. So that I spent all my time at the Newport Festival, and I wasn't working with her, or with her at her hotel where she was staying. So she was 25, I was 20 years old. So, you know, she was definitely an older woman. 20 is so damn young, I realize now when you know, it's my life, so it just was normal, but the older I get, the extremely younger 20 seems, and I'm just amazed that this actually happened when I was 20. But yeah, I was with, two things happened at the Newport Folk Festival that are pertinent if you care about Janis. One was that, just a funny thing, she showed up with Albert, her manager, at one moment, and it was some gig, a workshop kind of thing that some of the artists would do at the Newport Folk Festival. But she showed up wearing that fox fur coat that you see throughout the picture. And it actually was a gift from Southern Comfort, who had sent it to her unasked, just because in so many interviews she had talked about how much she loves Southern Comfort. So they just sent her, at the time, it was like a $5,000 fox fur coat. It was really a nice piece. So she was wearing that in July in Newport. And you know, you saw her wearing it throughout the show, the film, and she really did like it. But actually, I have a connection to this movie because I was at a Cara Taylor's gallery last July and at an opening, and a friend of mine, Tamara Weiss, said, "Oh, hi, Richard." Oh, she said, "Oh, I should have called you," because she knew I'd been with Janis, and she said, "Amy Berg was just here, and she's doing this documentary on Janis, and I'll put you two together." So I was, a couple of days later, walking in Marblehead, visiting my brother and family, and I got a call from Amy Berg, and she said, "Are you the Richard from Newport?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "What does that mean? Why are you asking me that question?" And she said, "Well, we're doing this documentary, and it involves letters with Janis, correspondence, and there was a letter talking about Richard at Newport, and through Tamara, I'm thinking that might be you." So I ended up filming for this thing, but it was like 3 days, I was contacted by her about 3 days before they were locking the picture. It never made it into the edit, so But it was, you know, thrilling to get a letter that Janis had written that was mentioning me. In it, you know, not having received, it wasn't to me, of course, it was to Linda, and I don't know which Linda, she had a couple of friends named Linda. But Janis was really fun, as you know, she was terrific to be with, her energy and all of that, but she was really an intellectual, she was well-read, she always had books with her, she, you know, revered the beat poets, and I got to be with her at the Fillmore East at a concert she was putting on, and her big thrill as we were getting ready to go to the show was that the Staples singers were on the bill with her. And so she was going to meet Mavis Staples, and to her that was like the highest of the high. She was so happy and giddy that this was going to be the case. And we got to hang out with Mavis, and you know, she was just in heaven from that. But when we stayed at the Chelsea, we'd go across, we'd get up around noon, and we'd go across the street for breakfast to the bar that was on a diagonal across the street, and we'd have Kahlua and milk for breakfast. That was our breakfast. Anyway, and she was great.
That's fabulous. 20 years old, huh? You're already a record producer or working for a record company.
Yep, I was in the PR, the
Yeah.
artisan repertory part.
Yeah. Those are the days, huh? Different days.